Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another pickups video. You'll have to forgive me if my voice is a little scratchy. I'm kind of getting over a bit of a viral infection or something, and so I've been dealing with a sore throat all week. But, be that as it may, I had a chance to do a little bit of hunting today and also picked up a couple of things last weekend, which I'll start with and show you just a few things that I picked up. So, last weekend I had the opportunity to just briefly stop over at the pawn shop, and I will show you a handful of items that I picked up there. So I got a lone original Xbox game, and that is Strike Force Bowling, which I also have on the PS2. Got a handful of Wii games. So I got Michael Jackson: The Experience, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, which is great because that will go with the Guitar Hero Aerosmith guitar bundle that I got that was missing the game, so now I have that and can actually play that. I got M&M's Kart Racing, which I'm sure is quite inferior to Mario Kart Wii, but give that a whirl anyway. And The Price is Right, which is hilarious. I remember growing up loving this show for some reason, and completely annoying my mom because she hated hearing the music and didn't like the show at all. So I have fond memories of watching the show during the summer or on days when I was homesick, lying on the couch and watching the show and hearing my mom grumbling in the other room. Also got some Xbox 360 games. So I got Top Spin 2, Red Dead Redemption, and Halo 3 Platinum Hits, and also a couple of PS3 games. I got Hunted, The Demon's Forge, and also The Evil Within. So those were all at the pawn shop last week. Yesterday, as in Friday, Black Friday to be specific, I stopped at GameStop on the way to family Thanksgiving celebration, and of course by the time I got there they didn't have any more of the $200 1TB PS4s on offer, but I did manage to pick up a couple of things. They were doing a buy two get one free sale on used games, so I grabbed Alpha Protocol, the espionage RPG for PS3. Also grabbed Dragon's Dogma, which I've heard is good, and with the announcement of a new game in the series and this new one possibly coming to the Switch, I grabbed the original Valkyria Chronicles. So we'll check that one out. I've been curious about the series for a while, especially because the second game is exclusive to the PSP and is one that I have yet to acquire for my complete PSP collection. Also grabbed a handful of Wii U games that I had didn't have in my collection yet. So finally grabbed Jurassic World. I got Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. And then I also got Tank, which looks like it could be kind of fun. So anyway, got some more Wii U goodies, getting a little closer to a full Wii U set. I know there's still a number of physical releases I'm lacking, but I'm slowly inching in that direction. Now on to today's finds, and both Goodwills I struck out at, but I will start with what I would consider to be my biggest find, and that's just because that sets up the subsequent stop. And so I found at the pawn shop they had an Atari 7800. And as you can see, the box is in pretty sad shape. It's got tape all over it. It's pretty beat up. But it is a box nonetheless. And so I decided to go ahead and grab it, especially for the price they were asking. Because these days, I've seen 7800s for quite a bit more than what I paid for this. But it is the system with 2 original controllers and the RF modulator and AC adapter. One of the controllers is in reasonably good shape. The other one has got some issues with the label, but otherwise looks like it's in okay condition. Unfortunately, the pawn shop did not have the ability to test it because they said that they sold their last tube TV and the RF wouldn't even work on any of the HD sets that they have, probably because the resolution isn't compatible. So I'm hoping this works. The really cool thing about this is this would make it so that I wouldn't necessarily have to pull my 2600 out of the basement and hook it up. I could just have the 7800 for 7800 games and 2600 games. So I might do that. We'll see. So that leads into my next stop, which was over at one of the game stores I frequent. And while I was there, I almost completely cleaned them out of the handful of 7800 games that they have. Oh, I should show, before I do that, I should also mention that along with the 7800 being discounted from the sticker price, the manager also threw in, said he would throw in 3 2600 games, and I've got most of their selection, but they had a couple things I didn't have. So I got Real Sports Volleyball, Super Challenge Football, and then also Super Challenge Baseball. A couple of random sports titles that I didn't have. So I picked those up to pad the 2600 collection. But anyway, I cleaned out this game store of all but scant few, or I think all but 2 7800 games. The only ones I didn't grab were, there was a sports game that I didn't grab. So let's just run through these real quick. I got Miss Pac-Man, which is awesome because that is my favorite of the Pac-Man series. Xevious. Not a huge Xevious fan, but it's a shmup, and I'd be curious to compare this to the NES release. Robotron 2084, which I would assume is better than the 2600 version. Joust, which I'm kind of excited about because I used to play that at an arcade years ago. Asteroids. Got Dig Dug, which is awesome because I love Dig Dug. And of all the different consoles that I own and all the different consoles that this has been released on, this is my first ever version of Choplifter. So very cool to have that. And then also Pole Position 2. So that is my new small but I would say respectable initial collection of 7800 carts. I also picked up a couple of random things while I was there. The manager of the store knows I've been after one of these for a while, and that is Silver Surfer. It's one of the handful of NES shoot-em-ups that I don't have, or didn't until now. And I've been looking for a copy for a while, so glad to finally have that. I also grabbed a random Wii U game, and that is 007 Legends. Been looking for this one for a while at a good price, and they had it at a good price, so I jumped at it. And then a couple of random Sega Genesis games in the box. Zero Tolerance, and I'll have to get this out of the plastic to see if it has the manual. Based on shaking it around, I don't think it does, so I may have to source that. But based on shaking this one around, I'm pretty sure it does, and that is Shadow of the Beast. I've played a couple of these Shadow of the Beast ports, and it's not something that I was hugely interested in, but this is not one that I see in the wild very much, and it was a really good price, so I decided to jump at it. Plus, they were having a sort of a Black Friday weekend sale, and so it was discounted beyond just the sticker price. So that was the game store. I went to another pawn shop and picked up a couple of items, a couple of PS3 games. Excuse me, just random finds. So I got Battlefield Bad Company. Excuse me while I hiccup. And then also this Capcom Essentials, which I'd never seen before. That's Resident Evil 6 and Dead Rising 2. And it's just a pair of discs with a little flip. There's no manual. I don't know if this came with a manual or not. The inside has all of the, seizure warning and all of that sort of stuff. 90-day limited warranty. So I'm gonna say maybe this didn't come with a manual, but I'll have to do some checking and verify that. But yeah, it's greatest hits version of Dead Rising 2 and then RE6. And then I guess finally today I went over to GameStop, or not GameStop, excuse me, Best Buy. Picked up a couple of additional Switch games because I'm really trying to continue to boost that collection. So I picked up LA Noire. Looking forward to checking that one out. And of course, I had to pick up the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So looking forward to checking that one out. Of course, here in another week, Xenoblade 2 comes out. I probably won't buy it at launch, as in this following weekend, because I'm not going to be going back into town next weekend unless something comes up and I get a chance to. So it'll probably be the weekend after that I pick it up. But since I'm still working on Super Mario Odyssey, depending on how far I get in that throughout this week, and whether or not I decide to go back and collect all the moons that I didn't find through the story campaign, that'll depend on whether or not I decide to start Skyrim or wait and maybe play one of the other Switch games I have that is a little shorter, like Tiny Barbarian or something like that, or go full bore and go to Xenoblade 2. Speaking of Super Mario Odyssey, the last thing I have to show you here is a nice little poster that they had at Best Buy. They said they were giving these away with the purchase of the game, and of course I bought mine a couple of weekends ago and they didn't have them. And so the person at the cash register was gracious enough to give me one, since I told her I bought the game there just a couple weeks prior. And so it's actually double-sided, and it's a sort of not quite, it's almost like poster board. It's not just paper, but really nice little poster board type of deal here. And so I may find a spot for that here in the game room and hang that up or put that up somewhere, because that's pretty neat. So enjoying that. But what do you guys think? I'm not going to ask what I should play first, because as soon as I get done recording this and all of that, I'm probably going to try to hook up the 7800 and see if it works, because that is something that I want to check out and make sure of pretty much right away, so I can test it out. But let me know what you guys think of my pickups. Is there anything in here, I guess, that you guys really like? Any experiences with any of these games, good, bad, or otherwise? Let me know in the comments section below. As always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at GameBoyGuru. Check out my blog, where you can read my reviews that go along with my dramatic readings videos, and that is GameBoyGuru.blogspot.com. And then also make sure to check out Mira, who I've got a link in the description, his channel, because he's done the cover of the first level Super Mario Land music that I use as the theme music for the channel and for each of my videos. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.